YouTube podcast world. What's up, family? You already know the name. Pays and Plays podcast here. Going to give y'all week three upset alerts, picks to watch out for. Last week, very impressive week, right? Buccaneers plus 7.5, one in cover. Raiders plus 9.5, one in cover. The last week one and week two, we had three of the largest dogs on the slate win and cover outright. Entering week three, however, this is the first time in NFL betting history, yes, betting history, that there's no 9 to 10 point underdogs. However, the line did just adjust it for the Bengals to Commanders game. So be on the lookout for that, as now in some books I'm seeing -8 Cincinnati Bengals. And I would still have the Bengals to win and cover. Not a lot of science. I just think it's either Bengals or die because this Washington secondary can't stop anybody. So I guess we can go right into it with that one. I think this is how the Bengals get their first game as a dub, and I at least see them win by 10 points. 8 points is about right. I mean, tease it down. You already know how I feel about teasers. Next game, let's talk about this one. Philadelphia Eagles plus 2.5 going to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Yeah, so this one, I think there's no AJ Brown. However, though, you still got Devonta Smith, who is, in my opinion, a number one receiver in most other teams. And listen, the performance was sloppy. Monday Night Football, we'll admit it, and it was a little bit of luck for the Falcons. However, they need to run the football with Saquon Barkley, which I think they will plan on doing. Give Jalen Hurts more manageable plays to make. And the one thing about this defense secondary is awful. It is a concern when the Saints have been blazing hot, but I'm just pretty much betting on hoping that the Saints cool down, because Derek Carr never comes out slinging like this. And the one thing we really would need to do is the Eagles, those big boys, them big Georgia boys, got to show up on a defensive line. If they cause any ruckus against this offensive line with the Saints, as much as I've been saying this Saints offensive line isn't that much good, then I think they have a fighter's chance to win this game outright. Next game, Packers plus 2.5. So they play the Titans, and I'm already, from what I'm aware of, Jordan Love will be playing this game. Now, and I know people are like, well, Jordan Love is hurt, yeah, but he'll probably be at 75%. But we know the game plan will be based off a lot of running anyway. And we see that you can gut this Titans defense run the rock with a lot of Josh Jacobs. So expect that to happen. And even though Will Levis is healthy, I'd rather have a 75% Jordan Love than 100% Will Levis. The way that he turned the ball over and those turnovers that he made last week ended up the Jets scoring 17 points on that. So just be on the lookout for that as far as also field position. And this is a spot that I just think the Packers, we can catch them at an underdog spot. I don't normally bet my own team, but this is the one where I might have to do it because +2 still, and you're giving me money line underdog odds with Jordan Love still. Why not take that chance? Next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, so Seahawks against the Dolphins. Seahawks now -4.5, open up 6.5. I'm leaning more towards Seattle to win the cover. I know about the Dolphins, right? We know about Tua not playing. He's on IR for at least about 4 weeks. So, but we knew that was going to happen, right? The thing we have to wonder is just the game plan with Thompson. Now that we know he's going to be a starter for a whole week. And with Seattle, honestly, listen, I like what they've been doing. Some of those games you have to win grind out games, especially as a first year coach with Mike McDonald. I think McDonald defensive game plan should work against this Dolphins team because we've seen it before. The same similar situation. And the thing about Miami is that they don't have a number 3 right now because OBJ isn't playing. So when you take out Tyreek Waddle out, sometimes that's around third down situations, and you don't have that reliable source as a number 3 receiver. And that's kind of a concern for this team. But I think Seahawks still cover this game. If it goes to -3, not 3.5, just -3, I'll probably be considered taking Seattle. Next game, yeah, I got to talk about this one. Detroit Lions against the Arizona Cardinals. Lions now -2.5. I'll take the Lions to win and cover. Now, the concern we already know it. Defense look like it's kind of at a regression. As far as the secondary, we know the secondary has not changed, but I already told y'all that. It looked like the linebacker core too was a little weary. So we know what Aiden Hutchinson is doing on that D line, and I think he gets to the quarterback against Kyler Murray. Now, granted, I have said they struggle against mobile quarterbacks, so don't be surprised if you see Kyler Murray hit his over in rushing yards. I think we can see that happen because we know Aiden Hutchinson's going to kind of be around. He has been probably you could probably argue the best defensive player on that team so far. And I know it's a hard thing playing out west because with this Lions team, they usually do kind of struggle out west. A couple of times they played against the Cardinals, right? 2019 in the pandemic year in 2020. 2019, Kyler Murray first start as an NFL quarterback against the Lions. How that result happened? A tie in overtime. And then the second one, of course, the Lions, they won off a game-winning field goal. So we know these games against this two at Arizona is very close. I'm begging the Lions do win on a last minute field goal. My prediction, let's give it a 24-20 game Lions. That's how close it is. I don't think it goes over the 51 and a half total. I don't think that happens. And lastly, let's talk about it. LA Rams +7.5 against the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, listen, I'm going 49ers to win and cover. I had to think about it more and more. This Rams team is decimated with injuries, and I almost feel like this is towards a couple years ago. Y'all remember like a couple years ago after they won a Super Bowl, they just shit the bed all year. They pretty much just said, "Let's get ready for the off season." I think that's what this team might be on the verge of doing. If they lose this game, I almost think that's what they will be doing. You don't like to see that, but that's how most teams are because NFL tanks. We know they tank, but because there's no system like the NBA with the first overall pick, it's usually easy for these teams to do that, man. But as always, man, I hope you guys like the content. We know we love the dogs off here. And you ask me who I think went outright: Packers, Eagles. Out of the ones I talked about, those probably the two that I think will win outright as far as the underdogs. But as always, keep liking the content. Let's get this money, man. Let's be safe out here, as always.